Hey guys, I'm Adam. Welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. I decided that I wanted to show some cards to you to share. You know, we like to share our collections. I think I've probably shown all of these at one time or another, but I am certainly not against showing cards more than once. And I thought I would do it in a different way. I'll start with a couple of cards that cost me very little, like relatively close to nothing, but not nothing. And then a couple of cards that cost me around $100, and then a couple that cost me around $200, and then two cards around $300, or coins. There's a couple coins in here. And work our way up to a couple of items that were around $1,000. So that'll be 22 items total. 2 at the close to zero level, 2 at the 100 level, all the way up to 2 at the $1,000 level. Now, what's the purpose of this? Well, as mentioned, just kind of a cool way to show, some of my collection. But also, I think, if nothing else, it shows that I think there are some really sweet items that can be collected on different budget levels. And over the years, I've certainly been at different budget levels, especially when we had 3 kids, all in private school. That was a time where my hobby budget was pretty slim, to say the least. But I enjoyed collecting nonetheless, because I really think there's great stuff to collect at all levels, even stuff that has the potential to go up in value, which doesn't mean it'll realize that potential, but it has the potential. So yeah, pretty much all vintage. Some of the items are newer, but nothing that's that new. So either vintage or close to vintage. And like I say, a couple of coins, either basketball or baseball. A few of these Jordan basketball cards, well, probably all of them actually, have just went crazy. So, you could not get them in today's market at the price that I paid. The market would have to really tank to get back down to those prices. But nonetheless, without further ado, let me turn this camera around and let's check these stunning beauties out. So let's do it. All right, so we are starting at that close to $0. And for both of these cards, I got within $20 of $0. So this is a purchase from November of 2022. For $18. And that is the 1980 Topps Mike Schmidt in an Elite 8 here. To me, wow, this card's really nicely centered too. To me, this card is just, I love this card. I think it's just perfect. I couldn't tell the difference between this and a 10. Hey, the back could be better centered, I guess. I suppose if I looked, I might be able to find something to pick on. But, just looking at it, to me, it doesn't look like it gets any better than this. $18, Mike Schmidt. He had a heck of a year in 1980 as well. I love this design. I love this card. Graded, I think it was $4 shipping, but $18 graded. How cool is that? So I think there are some really nice cards that can be had without spending too many bucks. And I don't know what this card's going for now, but I assume probably not much different than what I paid for it. And then for $20 in March of 2021. So when I say close to zero, if we round to the nearest 100, this is closer to $100 than it is to $100. 60 new card, and this is still playing days for Stan Musial, but it's hearkening back to 1954, where Stan Musial hits 5 homers in one day, which I think is still a record to today. Oh, I was so stoked. This is not an easy card to get. It's got like these factory rivets, which should not have been on the card. They should have just been in the margin. I think I've seen these on some other ones. To me, that doesn't bother me a bit. In fact, I think it kind of adds some character. So to me, it's like, man, wow, this is a vintage greatness 3 if I've ever seen one. Wonderful image of Stan. By the way, that sort of looks like a Nike swoosh. That's part of the picture, so that's on all of them. And then, of course, the back of these new cards have the questions that relate to other cards in the series. So $20. To me, that was just a steal. So both of these cards, costing me, not much at all. And yeah, to me, what a couple of absolutely fantastic cards that I would imagine, I guess, are worth about what I paid for them. Now, I probably got really lucky on the stand, so maybe it should have sold for somewhat more. But yeah, a couple of great cards at very little cost. All right, now we're going to move up to around $100. This is pretty close to $100 for $104 in September of 2021. I picked up the glorious 53 Redman Tobacco Stand Mutual in a Vintage Greatness 3. So let's check this stunner out. I mean, to me, wow. Is this a nice way to spend $100 or what? I mean, I think I think I got value for my money here. Again, I haven't checked. I don't know, what this is going for now. But to me, heck, a graded 1953 Redman Tobacco Stand Mutual, so glorious with tab, in a Vintage Greatness 3. So it's got a grade of 3, but my goodness, it's a 10. It is a stunning 10. I mean, hey, what if this said 10 instead of 3? I'm not sure I'd see that much of a difference. I mean, I know it's got little issues if you really look, but you gotta really look. To me, it's just insane sometimes how a technical grade. So I'm not suggesting the technical grade is not a 3. I mean, hey, I think the grading companies generally do grade by their grading standards, and they're pretty darn consistent based on their standards. So, I'm apt to believe this is a 3, or as some have put it, 3 really means like 2 to 4 or something like that. So yeah, I think it's in there, but wow, I don't really care about technical grade. I care about how stunning the card is. And to me, I could get a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, or a 10, any of those grades. I don't think the card's looking any better than this. I don't think I would be able to tell a discernible difference in eye appeal for my eye. So I am super stoked about that. Now, also sticking at the $100 range, $107 in January of 2018, I picked this beauty out. Now, the 49S, S meaning the mint mark S for San Francisco, this is the key to the Franklin half-dollar series. It's not a rare coin by any means. It's pretty available. But in a mint state 65 with a CAC sticker, which means a lot in the coin world. It means it's a gorgeous original coin with original toning. The toning on this is just, I'll try to get it to, adjust here if I can. See if I can get... It's just got like these bubbles. It's really just spectacular. There we go. I guess I'll hold it back a little bit here. This is what original toning should look like, folks. Now, original toning can look a lot of different ways. If you have experience with coins and you have an eye for coins, this is just stunning original toning, and it almost has this bubbly effect. It's just an absolutely stunning coin. And so there we have a couple of items at the $100 level. And now, of course, next we're going to move on to the $200 level. And so let's see what we've got here at $198, purchased in August of 2023. So less than a year ago, the 52 Topps Bob Feller in a Vintage Greatness 3. I always love adding a 52 Topps card. I mean, what a sweet, sharp card. This is really nice registration for this card. Now, to each their own. We can see a little bit of off-center, but I tell you what, for me personally, and again, to each their own, I'll take that. I'll take that all day when we're talking about, because it's not bad to me. And we're talking about sharp, we're talking about vivid, nice registration, clean. I mean, this is a really, really nice card. So that was $198. And for $219, purchased in November of 2021. This is an incredibly tough card. 1986 star Best of the New Old, part of that series, but it's the Best of the Old, which includes 4 players, one of them being Dr. J, just 1 tick from a Gem Mint 9.5. This card is insanely hard to find, and so when it came up as a buy it now, I snatched this bad boy up as quick as I could. Yeah, there's, again, going to be some people who this is a card that they highly, highly desire, and it might be worth multiples of what I paid now. Not that's not why I'm in this, but it may very well be because it's almost impossible to find. Any supply that's out there has been gobbled up and put away. They almost never come up. I had a save search for a long time before, and as soon as that thing came up, I snagged it. So that's probably the toughest playing days Dr. J card, and I'm super stoked to have it. All right, so those are a couple of cards for around $200. So let's move on to $300. So for $280, purchased in March of 2023, the 50 Bowman Yogi Berra, again in a Vintage Greatness 3. So let's check this beauty out. Now for those that like centering, speaking of centering, I mean, look at that. Wow. I mean, the registration, the centering, the vibrancy, a little bit of wax up here, but you know what? I'll take that. Something's got to give it the 3 level. I think this is a super sweet 3. I'll go ahead and check out the back. The back's really nice as well. So that was $280, and now for $300 on the nose. Pretty recent purchase. Just about 3 months ago, June of 2024, 2 or 3 months ago, for $300, the 1954 Dandy Potato Chips Larry Doby. Another card. I had a saved search. They would come up. There's usually maybe a couple on eBay, but sometimes they're asking crazy money, and I tend to be picky. We know these cards were in the bags of potato chips. I mean, greasy, gooey, that's just the way they come. And a lot of people like them that way because, that's part of their nostalgia. But look at this. Look at that. I mean, that is just pristine. I love the backs of these two. I mean, this is a really, really nice card. It's just a really, really nice card for a 4 in general, but for a 54 Dandy Potato Chips, there's like maybe one tiny little oil stain there. I mean, yeah, maybe a few other. That's a pristine potato chip, a PPC 4, a pristine potato chip 4 there, if I have ever seen one. So there's a couple of cards around the $300 level. Let us now move on to the $400 level, starting with $384. In January of 2023, the 58 Topps Hank Aaron yellow name, which is much scarcer than the white name. In a Fantastic 4, check that out. Again, for me, the centering could be better, but that doesn't bother me a bit because we're talking a 4 grade, we're talking sharp, we're talking vibrant. These tend to have a lot of print issues, and to me, this one really, really pleases my eye. I think it's just fantastic. Looks good behind this authenticity sticker too. I should probably put it in a different sleeve. All right, and then $400 on the nose from the 2023 National last year. Nolan Ryan's first solo Topps card in an excellent near mint plus 6.5. I mean, wow. Wow. This is an extra special card right here. Not sure exactly why, but I really wanted a really nice copy of that card. I mean, I like nice cards, but I don't know why, but that's one where, I just really wanted a nice one. So I'm super stoked to have that. Would love to get his rookie card at some point. But in some ways, I might just like this one better. All right, we're going to move along, since daylight's a-burning here, to the $500-ish dollar price level. May of 2023, $527. The 86 tops traded Barry Bonds Tiffany. Some would call it an XRC. Some would call it an RC. But whatever, I love it. And in an Elite 8, well-centered, really sharp, no white showing up here or on the corners. Of course, you wouldn't see it down below anyway because of the white. Same on the back, no white showing. Just a really, really sweet card. I think I got a pretty good buy on this too. To me, this was just, an 8 at around 500-ish bucks. I know that's a lot of money, but to me, that was a really nice price point to add what might just be the, perhaps the most desirable rookie card of Barry Bonds. But of course, to each their own as far as what they see as the most desirable card or rookie card of his, or even if they classify that as a rookie card. We now move on to June of 2021 for around $500, $536, 69.70 tops. Number 1, Wilt Chamberlain in a 6.5. I've got a handful of cards roughly from this set, and I've been working on getting them with pretty nice side-to-side centering, because I think with kind of this oval here, if they're off much side to side, you really notice it. So that's something I've been working toward with this set, is nice side to side centering. Of course, I like the top to bottom as well. What a sweet card. But we would expect that. We would expect that at the 6.5 level. So super stoked. I haven't checked. I don't know how that's doing, value-wise, if it's up, if it's down, if it's about the same. But super stoked to have that. And now we are going to move on to roughly the $600 level. So let's go for it. Maybe I can keep this thing under a half hour. I don't know why my videos take so long. I think I'm zipping right along, but I'm apparently not zipping along as fast as I think. The 85-star Miller Lite All-Stars Michael Jordan, September of 2021, for $574. I believe this was an auction win in a sensational 7.5. So let's check this gorgeous card out. Now, the star cards are often off center. Some of them seldom come centered, or, some of them you can get centered. Others seldom come centered, or you have to pay, a big premium for the centering. Also, they tend to have colored borders, so chipping is common on the corners or the edges. So when I was going after some of these, I was looking to not pay too much relative to what the card could cost, and I was not too picky about centering. I was looking to not pay too much and get chip free on the corners and edges, and I think I satisfied that goal here. Super stoked, super pleased with this card. I love the back. I love the color. Yeah, some have said that these were the Star Company. They contracted out pretty much everything, so they contracted out to a couple print shops. So some have said that, these are of a lower quality, but you know what? Their photography, I think, was generally fantastic. I think they have some amazing photography, much of which was reused in the 86-87 Fleer set, interestingly enough. And maybe even beyond for Fleer, beyond that, like to the next year after that, I'm not sure. But so I think, some amazing photography, wonderful use of color. And to me, I think there's just something really beautiful. So it may be, not up to modern printing standards, but But I like that. There's something endearing and beautiful about it, in my humble opinion. So again, we're still around that $600 mark. April of 2023, $630. I'm pretty sure I paid a premium for this, but I was willing to do it because I really like this copy. This is one of my favorite cards for sure. If I could only keep, a dozen cards or so, this is probably one of them. The 1954 Red Heart Dog Food Stan Musial in a Forever 4. Look at that. I mean, that is so glorious. That is insane. For a long time, I dreamed about owning this card, and I would have been happy with a copy that wasn't this nice, but, oh man, the red. Wow. I mean, to me, this blows away refractors. I mean, I like some of the modern cards. I have some modern Errant Judge cards, but to me, this just blows away the refractors in a vintage type kind of way with that glorious red. And boy, does that work with the red on the Cardinals uniform. And then here's the back. Super stoked, by the way. Probably a good time to say, look at these gorgeous custom stands. Yeah, from a pecan tree from the Civil War, which is just crazy. I kind of got the, I sort of, knowing the Drew, I sort of just got it in the ground level and said, hey, Drew, could I get those? If not, that's okay, but could I get those? So super stoked. I've got 4, of course, just using the 2. Really, though, all of the wooden card stands he made, they're all wonderful. They're all beautiful. Super stoked to have these. All right, so where are we at? Oh, yeah, these 2 cards around the $600 level. We're moving on to the $700 level. In April of 2022, 700 on the nose, the 85-86 star all-rookie team Michael Jordan in a sensational 7. And look at that. Once again, looking to not spend too much. And this one's actually pretty nicely centered, but looking for the, no chipping on the edges and corners, because that really shows on these colored bordered cards. And yeah, super, super stoked with this card. And then, again, I only had so many options. It's not like I have tons of cards that were right around the $700 mark. So, at $725, a September of 2021 purchase, 85 star as well. This time the Gatorade Slam Dunk in a stunning 7. Now this one happens to be really well centered. I mean, this is amazing. It's just got like a little, I think, factory surface indentation thing that I don't even notice, doesn't bother me a bit. And even when I do look at it kind of at an angle, it's like, yeah, that's nothing, man. That is nothing. This is a super nice star card. I love the Gatorade too. I love the green. I love the right up on the back. I mean, green. That's the color for Gatorade for sure. The classic Gatorade color. All right, now we're moving on to the $800 price point. Now here's the deal. The first card I'm going to show comes in at $750, but we can kind of round that up to $800. That's about the best I could do on this one. The 56 Topps Jackie Robinson in a BVG4. Now, I don't know. I haven't, again, checked prices, but $750 for a BVG4 on this card. Purchased July of 2021. That $750 might be high for a BVG4, but I went with buy the card, not the grade. This card has all 4 sides are fuzzy cut from the factory. I think that's what's making it a 4. I've inspected it carefully. Blah, cannot talk. I mean, this card is insanely nice, and I love those fuzzy cuts. This is the fuzzy cut Forever 4. This card is just superb. I mean, if this said 10, if I had this right next to a 10, I don't even know. I imagine this card exists in a 10. I'm not sure the 10 would look better to me. I like these fuzzy cuts. There could be some other little thing I'm missing somewhere, but I haven't found it. Yeah. Oh, I love the back of these cards too. So that was $750, but we're kind of rounding it to $800. And now for $825, it would be a lot more now. This has been on fire lately. July 2020 purchase. In an exceptionally minty 6, the 84-85 star, number 288, Rookie of the Year, Michael Jordan. This card is really, really nice. I know it's off-center to the right, but they almost all are. It's kind of funny, too, how a lot of times the grade, the final grade will be based on how they determine the centering, and they're not necessarily so consistent all the time. For example, I saw this card sell just within the last couple days, and it said 8. It was an 8. It had subgrades. It was not centered any better than this, and it had, some white showing here and there. And I was like, man, this card is probably better because I just think they overgraded the centering on that one, and someone paid like $12,000, which to me is just like, insane. But anyway, from Jordan's rookie year, and I love the back as well. So there's a couple of cards at that roughly $800 price point. And now we move on to the $900 price point. This is the item I've had the longest that I'm showing today, $940. Purchased July of 2015, so I've had it for, getting close to 10 years. $17.95, flowing hair $50. Fine details, because it has some scratches on the back. A over E in States variety. I tell you what, this is a really, really incredibly nice coin. Fine details or not, incredibly nice coin. If you go online and look at $17.95 $50, these denticles all around on the edge, most of the time, part of the date's just missing, and it was struck that way at the factory. So this strike is just like incredibly exceptional. That raised area right there to the right of the 5, that's from a die gouge. This toning's not original, it's been retoned, but still looks stunning. Beautiful coin. You might be able to see the scratches that have been toned over, but yeah, this is a super nice coin. Up there in States, you might see where the A has been punched over an E. So originally, an E was on the die and they punched an A over it. Our young U.S. government did not have a lot of money, so they couldn't just toss the die, they had to adjust it. So someone misspelled Steets. Yeah, this is an incredibly sweet coin. Now, could this become a card at some point? It could. We'll see. I mean, I like this a lot, but it could be sold, and I think it's worth, a fair amount more than I paid, but we'll see. Time will tell. Notice right now it's kind of looking a little dull, but that all depends on, how the light's shining on it. But anyway, that's all right. Now for, let's see. So we're talking around 900. Now this was 950, but, I'm kind of rounding this one down to 900, and then I have another $950 item, but I'll round it up to 1,000. That's the best I can do. This was purchased in January of 2022, and it just so happens this would go for quite a bit more now. The 84-85 Star Court Kings 5x7 Michael Jordan, number 26, in an excellent 5 plus 5.5. This is probably his first player license card, which is just crazy. And the image is just, I think presents really nicely for a 5.5. I actually think, in my humble opinion, that 5.5 seems like about the right grade. Don't think it's going to fit in there. I'm just going to kind of do this with it. We'll just sort of see, part of it here. Rather than adjusting the camera, I'll just sort of show it to you in sections. I hope that's okay. Oh, what the heck. Let me adjust the camera up a little bit. That seems like the right thing to do. So we'll adjust this up some. Let's see if we can see more of this. Yeah, maybe I'll just hold it back for a little bit and we'll check it out. There we go. And let me go ahead and show you the back. So yeah, there is, of course, a lot of discussion right now, a lot of, I guess you could say, controversy or strongly held opinions about the Star Company and whether or not, these are rookie cards or rookie subset cards. But I will just say this. I like the first player licensed cards. So, they're more meaningful to me than the 86 Fleer Jordan, although I think that's a nice card too. But, to me, those first player licensed cards, closer to his rookie year or from his rookie year, they're scarcer as well. More my cup of tea. All right, we're moving on, finally, to the $1,000 range. Now, this is a $950 item as well. So I'm rounding this one up to $1,000. Purchased in December of 2022. 4849 Leaf Stan Musial in a pristine pinhole 1. Have I ever shown this card off before? Nah. No, only every other video. Look at that pinhole right at the top. Top border, well centered. I mean, the registration, the corners, the vibrancy of the colors. Man, I absolutely love 49 Leaf. I would imagine, at the $950 I paid, a little bit of kind of corner, corner bending just a little bit or whatever, but, that doesn't bother me a bit. At the, let me see here. I'll kind of hold that up for now. At the price I paid, I would imagine somebody could get a 1 for less. But to me, this was well worth a premium because I think for me, in eye appeal, it probably blows away most of the 2s and 3s and maybe a lot of the 4s out there. So super stoked to have it. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. One more. Let's see. I was supposed to move this anyway, wasn't I? Okay, here we go. So we are at that roughly $1,000 level with the Musial being $950. Now for $1,025. I'm over the half-hour mark. Well, I'm going to carry on for $1,025. From March of 2022, I tried to get one of these for under $1,000. Couldn't quite do it, but I'm glad I got it when I did. The 85-star Crunch and Munch. This might be the toughest Jordan star card. Crunch and Munch All-Stars in an Elite 8. And this is just absolutely glorious. A lot of wonky cuts with star. This is actually overcut. It's longer on the left side. So if somebody were to expertly trim the bottom, you could make it the right size. A lot of times, this Crunch and Munch, for whatever reason, the Jordans are often, and the other players as well, often diamond cut, angle cut. But a lot of times it's cutting into the top. And maybe you have extra on the bottom. In this case, it's not cutting into the top at all. You have extra on the bottom. So it's kind of like a little extra card there, which I like. I mean, this is a really tough card. Really tough card. I love the colors. I love what started with the colors, the photography. That's just something on the sleeve there. Ah, what the heck. Let's go all out. Let's take this bad boy out of the sleeve. With BGS anyway, they've got, sleeves within the plastic here. I'm not going to cross these over, though, because, it cost a lot of money. And I like the Beckett slabs. I think for cards that are shiny, I don't care for the Beckett slab. But if they're not shiny, that's fine. I think they present really well. All right, let me turn this camera around here for an outro. All right. Wow. Thank you, everyone, for sharing in my joy. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought. That was just kind of something a little different. A couple cards around $0-ish, a couple around 100, working our way up to 1,000. Would love to hear your thoughts. what card you liked, anything you have to say, really. I hope your life is going well. I hope your collecting is going well. Notice I did not show any new cards because you know how collecting goes. I'm still kind of trying to recover from the National, recover my hobby budget from the National. I have bought a few new cards recently, but I wanted to show some, I wanted to show these cards and show some cards that I've shown before. So you know how collecting goes. Sometimes in a month we may only get 1 or 2 cards. Not everybody is getting 10 or 20 or 50 new cards a month to show off. Some people may not be getting any cards to show off in the month, and so their options are either show none off or show some some cards off they've shown before. And I'm always more than happy, because when I buy cards, my goal generally, now will I consider trading cards? Sure. In fact, to be open about it, something like this that I paid $8.25 for, this Rookie of the Year, it's worth so much more now that I could possibly take it to the National and consider, trading it toward like a Willie Mays rookie card or something. I mean, same with the Crunch and Munch, it's worth so much more. I could consider, trading it towards something like a Ted Williams rookie card. So I'm pondering that. I love these Jordan Star cards. I'll probably never have them all because of the 101, the 84 star 101 that's just went to the moon. And completion kind of means something to me, having some sort of a completion. But anyway, I'm sorting that out. It's a wonderful first world problem to have. I'm not worried about it. It'll work out one way or the other. So yeah, I'm willing to trade. I would argue that just about anything I have is potentially tradable or sellable. However, the reality is that, the stuff that I have, I'm not looking to sell or trade. So even though it might be tradable or sellable, for the most part, I'm not looking to do it. I mean, to give you an example, is this going anywhere? Just one example, this Red Heart Musial. Sure, it's tradable or sellable, but, somebody would have to give me more than it's worth in trade or in value. So yeah, that's true of a lot of the things I have. Like this Yogi Berra. Is it tradable or sellable? Well, sure it is, but man, I would or how about this, just about all of them really. How about this Dandy Dobie? If somebody really wanted it, is it tradable or sellable? Well, yeah, but I'd probably have to say to the person, look, I'm going to want more in trade or cash than it's worth. Like, not because I'm greedy, but just because it means so much to me and I love having it in my collection. So, most of what I have, I would just say, yeah, you're better off getting it somewhere else because it means too much to me. I'd want too much, So yeah, anything is tradable or sellable, and sometimes I'll absolutely let something go because I'm interested in getting something else. But most of what I have, I try to be picky, I try to be selective. I'm looking to get things that I want to hang on to long term. Maybe at some point I'll try to downsize some. We'll see. But I'm not there yet. I guess it's time for me to wrap this up. My collecting brothers and sisters, thank you for sharing in my joy. Would love to hear whatever you'd like to say below. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the Vintage Sanctuary. Take care, my friends.